So if you see yourself as having a gifting of bringing young, idealistic people together who are willing to buck the system and change the status quo, if you see yourself as bringing together a group that believes they can have adventures like only teenagers believe in, because to everyone else it's fantasy, self-indulgent fantasy they'd probably say, then it makes perfect sense why youth would matter. And if you see it as being part of God's plan for your life, that He has woven it into your life, that this should be how you find a way to express yourself, how you find a place and a group of people to be with and express yourself, and how you find breathing room to experience growing up. To experience the world and all its wonders and complexities and seeing it for your first hand, because you can know it up here, but experiencing it may not make you any wiser, but it sure feels very different, you know? Experiences change you. They may not make you smarter, they may not make you make better decisions. Quite often, if you screw up the process of getting experience, it can do exactly the opposite. It can make your decision-making processes worse. But that doesn't mean accumulating experience is not desirable. And I did want to accumulate them. But I was very boxed in as a person. And I saw God's adventures for me not only as a means of breaking out of a box and changing the world, but also a means of finding a place where I could experience the world. Experience it anew for the first time with the wonder of a teenager who's never done this or that before, and with people who feel the same way about it. People who are full of the wonder of trying new things and experimenting and pushing boundaries and pushing their own limits as people and just taking risks. Yeah, risk takers. It's seen as a teenager's worst flaw, but I believe God sees it as an asset. Very few adults are real risk takers. You know, they'll go for a parachute drop, but only after they've been through all the safety protocols, and only after an instructor has drilled them for weeks, and only after they're absolutely sure everything is 100% checked and controlled. A teenager really will live off their wits and try things, sometimes not knowing what the outcome will be, but just relying upon their own skills to get them out alive. Adults don't live that way. Adults don't reach for the stars, not most of them. And if they do, it's usually in a very narrow field, with very narrow implications for other people. Five-year plans, business plans, goals, achievable goals. Oh yes, the emphasis is always on achievable. Never try anything you're not sure you can achieve. Heaven forbid you should be disappointed. And yet I know the pain of disappointment so well. And that perhaps is why I feel disqualified. because I no longer feel able to just try things, no longer feel I can just throw myself into the situation. I mean, I was never the kind of person I was always socially shy. I won't say I wasn't adventurous. I was always wary of being around other people because I felt that I wasn't a good communicator. But I tended to screw up when it came to interacting with other people. But I was adventurous in my own way. And I was waiting for opportunities to show it. And I no longer feel that way. Not really the way I used to. I no longer feel like I'm invincible. Teenagers have this sense that they're invincible, and once again, people see it as a problem. I see it as an asset. I no longer feel like it is an adventure just to pit myself against impossible odds and live on my wits. I just don't feel it the way I used to. I want to. I don't feel I can experience love and friendship and security and camaraderie and the feeling of having a family and a home the way teenagers can with each other. And if your experience of being a teenager was you spent your entire time being picked on and bullied, and that you never had any real friends, well, I'm sorry for you. But I suspect if you think really hard, you can think of 2 or 3 who stuck by you in those difficult years. I'm not talking about being popular. I'm talking about having people whom you can really turn to. Family. Friends that are like family. I never had that. Even when I thought I came close to it, they evaporated. They proved to be one-sided. In my affection for them was one-sided. And I would do anything to be able to get all of that back. All of that sense of being young. All of the opportunity and potential in the body and the mind and the situation that comes from being young. But so far, that has utterly eluded me.